what's happened is that I was very lucky because the man, the first 5-6 people I interviewed didn't know him well. You know, sometimes you have in your address book somebody you have not seen since a few years. They were this kind. The 7th person I interviewed was his best friend, and she told me he had gone that same day for a trip of 3 months at the other side of the world. So I was totally free of my movement because he was away for 3 months. When he came, what was interesting is that most of his friends that didn't like much the procédé thought it was perfect for him, that he would like it, that if somebody would like it, it would be him. So many of them accepted to talk because it was him. Well, they were wrong because he came back and he was extremely angry at what had happened. His name was never given in the paper or his identity. He knew it was about him because his friends told him. But his name was never given. So finally he decided to take me to court, and it happened that the newspaper was responsible and not myself. So he finally proposed to the newspaper a solution. He found a photo of me without clothes, completely nude, and he made an article saying his real name, saying he was not John Doe, he was Pierre Baudry. And he explained why he didn't like what I had done, with, as a photo, my portrait without clothes, which was not very hard to do because I was a stripper at the time, so it was not a big shock for me. But what was interesting is that he gave his name, so suddenly he gave people that didn't like it because it was fake liked it, people that liked it hated it. There was suddenly this aspect about reality or not appeared to be in the debate. So, what else? Anything about this? Yeah?
Have you presented photos of him in the Video?
What?
Have you presented photos of him in the Video?
No.
So visually, what?
Visually, it was the bar he likes to eat in, the chair he sits on, as I say, the gift he made to his friend 5 years ago, the painting that he gave, the postcard he sent, the image of the postcard, anything approaching, but never his face or anybody's face. And once there was a photo of a group, but I hid all the face, and he was turning his back. And when they published the photo Liberation, I asked also to have my face written white, like I did for the others. Yeah.
You couldn't print everything that you got from information, so what did you choose to edit out, and how did you guide it?
I chose to edit out things that were, sometimes it's not an excuse, because even if I think this work was maybe the most, the one I have the more doubt about everything I have done, because maybe the cruelty of what, of the result I didn't like. I was not consciously cruel. I didn't want to be cruel to it, let's say. So if I could redo this work, maybe I would redo it differently. But I must say that even if I feel some guilt, excitement is much more strong still than guilt, so I would redo it. But I took out things that some of his friends gave me information that I told them, are you sure you want to tell this? It's going to be tomorrow in the papers. And they said, yeah, you will accept it. And by myself, I took it out, fortunately, sometimes, I guess. So in a way, I was more, I took more care than some of his friends, strange. But I did it, so I'm the responsible.
Still, even that, there are certain questions that you might have wanted. You're telling a certain story or putting someone's portrait out there by what you choose to put in. Were you really conscious of the way that this was being molded in a way, even though it was by his friends or electricians and associates?
If I was conscious of what?
The way the story's coming out, by what you choose to put in and take out, you really are guiding the story a little bit, or his portrait.
I hope so,
yeah.
Yeah. I was conscious, yeah. I mean, I was trying to build. I did the same years later with stolen painting. So it's not about somebody having emotion, but it's the same idea. I took those paintings that had been stolen from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, and I asked people that had a daily relation to those paintings, like the guards, the people that carry them, all different relations, the curator, to describe me the missing painting. And I did the same also at the MoMA with paintings on loan at the time. So, somebody speaks about the fact that a woman looks like his mother, and another one, Johnny, speaks about the color and the composition. So it's different story, different levels of description of the painting. And finally, I photographed the absence of the painting and a text exactly the size of the painting that was a portrait. In a way, that was the same. I built a portrait. I could have chosen other things. It's never. It always becomes a fiction, even if everything is true. It still is a fiction. It's very hard for me to answer to the question: is it truth or is it lie? Is it truth or is it fiction? Because the only thing I can say it happened. Because, for example, I made a movie with my husband, Crossing America. We shot 60 hours, that movie called Sex Last Night. We lived together 1 year. On this 1 year we shot 60 hours. On those 60 hours we choose 1 hour and 15 minutes. We could have made 20 different movies telling opposite things, and they would all be true. But fictions, obviously. So, answer the question like this. Yeah? Oh, you're a specialist. You are the one that want to marry me, maybe. No, I can't repeat what I just said. Tell me, what's your question? No, ask me.
Just a question, just to go back a little, which perhaps might help to go forward. Just going back to the period before you met the husband or partner of one of your sleepers. Could you say a little bit about can you say a little bit more about what was your intention in that original, what kind of activity did you conceive of?
Seduce my father.
Sorry?
Seduce my father. I wanted to seduce my father. My father was an art collector. He was collecting photo and text. I had been away all my life. I never lived with him. I left for 7 years. I wanted to do exactly what he would like. I built exactly the kind of work he would like to do.
So can you say the names of the people he collected?
He collected people like Jean Le Gac at the time, like the American photographer that was writing under his photo. I just did the same. I took a photo and I wrote under Don Michaels. He was collecting Don Michaels. I just repeated exactly what I knew he liked. So that, I think that was my deep first movement, was to repeat precisely what my father would have bought.
So, did you succeed?
I succeeded, yes, he bought my work.